Guys, I think I might have finally found the perfect white t-shirt. Trying to find the perfect white t-shirt is a seemingly long and never-ending journey, but I think I finally found the brand that I want to settle with that has the perfect balance between comfort, fit, structure, softness, luster, sheen, tradition, heritage, all of these things to finally culminate into something that I'm proud and happy to wear, and something that makes me feel good and makes me feel comfortable. It's something that I don't have to be afraid of wearing either, because sometimes with more expensive t-shirts you can be a little afraid of getting them dirty, yellowing them, ripping them, but I think I finally found the perfect balance, which is exactly what we're going to talk about today. Today we're going to be talking about Merz B Schwanen, which is a German brand with a lot of history, and it's funny because I've been researching this brand for about half a year now, and funny enough, out of nowhere, I started seeing this picture everywhere, and everybody's talking about the white t-shirt that Carmy is wearing in the bear. Where's the t-shirt from? What does it feel like? Why does it look so good on him? This really just kind of goes to show that luxury and quality made garments really do make a difference, even in the most simplest forms, because everybody's going crazy over that shirt and you haven't even felt it yet. But everybody watching can recognize and spot the difference at how good it looks and how it really just caresses his body really well without looking too tight. So after seeing how many people have been talking about this t-shirt, coupled with the research and all of the knowledge that I've encompassed in the past half a year researching this brand, I said to myself, maybe it's finally time for me to make the investment and do a field test. Basically, I'm wearing the t-shirt right now. It's literally become my favorite t-shirt that I've ever owned ever, and there are a couple of reasons why. Number one, the t-shirt just feels absolutely insane. A couple of videos ago, I reviewed the Lady White Coat t-shirt, and I remember saying that it wasn't exactly what I thought it was gonna feel like, and it didn't feel bad, it just felt very crisp, which is a good thing if you want a t-shirt that feels very heritage. But the Merz B Schwanen t-shirt feels exactly like what I thought it was gonna feel like after paying $95 for the t-shirt. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I really don't spend as much money as you think on my clothes. I also don't own as many clothes as you guys think. So yes, I do take a lot of time and a lot of research before I invest money into this stuff. It is a very big step for me to pay $95 for one t-shirt. But to be honest, when I went into Self Edge, which is my favorite store in Manhattan, basically the only store in Manhattan that you can actually get some help from, my friends over there really helped me figure out exactly what I wanted and exactly what I was looking for out of my t-shirts. And they guided me to the perfect Merz B Schwanen t-shirt, which is the 215 8.6 ounce organic cotton t-shirt, and you really truly feel and see the difference. So let's talk about the history of Merz B Schwanen real quick and how do they get these t-shirts to feel and look so good. Basically, to my best knowledge, Merz B Schwanen was started from Balthasar Merz in 1911, which was a cotton goods manufacturer, and basically Balthasar specialized in manufacturing cotton goods that were manufactured with Loopwheel construction, but was ultimately taken out by mass production because of how slow and how tedious it was to manufacture Loopwheel cotton goods. And basically the name to the brand had remained dormant and out of business until Gita and Peter Plotnicki, the new and current owners of Merz B Schwanen, one day found an entire room filled with vintage loopwheeling machines and basically decided that they wanted to restart the Merz B Schwanen name and create some of the best cotton goods ever made while keeping with German tradition and heritage and blending together modern technology. So Peter and Gita actually decided they were going to get in contact with the descendants of Balthasar Merz and purchase the name and rightfully ask for the permission to revive the brand and uphold the tradition of what Merz B Schwanen always was. And since then, they've been creating some of the highest quality basic knits and fashion pieces that the world has ever seen. So basically, when it comes to the loop wheeling, these machines are very complex. You literally have to have one machine per size. So that's another thing that makes loop wheeling very hard to accomplish, but it ultimately makes some of the finest feeling fabric ever, and it gives such a beautiful drape to the shirt. And while it feels nice and dense, it's really not heavy at all. Basically, how the loop wheel machine works is that it feeds cotton through a loop in a circular motion with little to no tension at all, which is a very slow process, but ultimately gives this fabric a beautiful shape, and it also gives the fabric a lot of stretch capabilities. And the reason for this is because the fiber is actually not stretched due to the little to no tension at all when being knitted. So you can actually really stretch these out to shape if you wanted to after wash, which is another thing that really gives these t-shirts a beautiful fit and an absolutely amazing feel. Alright, so let's finally talk about the t-shirt. Basically, when I went to Self Edge, I really couldn't help myself after feeling these t-shirts t-shirts, I decided I wanted quite a few, and now my bank account is crying. But it was totally worth it because these are the perfect basics that I'm gonna keep in my wardrobe for a really long time. I went to Self-Edge and I said I wanted to try out the Merz B Schwanen shirt. I wanted something a little bit more oversized, a little bit more drapey, a little more modern. The thing about the sizing with these Merz B Schwanen shirts is that they're sized very small, so you really have to size up. I usually buy a medium, and if I wanted a true to fit size, I would have to go with the large from Merz B Schwanen, which is a bit more of a classic fit, not really oversized, not really skin tight, but just right. And while that was cool, I really wanted something that was more oversized, more fashion forward, so I ended up going with a size 8 or a double XL as per the guidance of the professionals at Self-Edge. And when I put it on, it was the absolute perfect size, perfect feel, perfect drape. And after that, I decided this was going to be the only t-shirt that I wanted to wear. So when it comes to Merz B Schwanen for yourself, if you wanted a nice classic trim fit but not exactly skin tight, make sure to size up at least one. So if you're a small, go to a medium. If you're a medium, go to a large. Large, go to extra large, and so on. If you want a nice oversized fit, I sized up 3 times, or rather 2 times if we're speaking in the Merz B Schwanen sizing terms. So for example, I'm a large in Merz B Schwanen, but in order to achieve an oversized fit, I sized up from the XL to the double XL, meaning that I sized up twice to get the perfect oversized fit that I was looking for. Now speaking of the fit is literally everything I wanted in an oversized t-shirt. It sits off the shoulder point a little bit, and it has a lot of extra fullness throughout the body. And because of the loop wheel construction, it's very straight, and the softness of the cotton just really contours so beautifully, and it really hugs the body even though it's still kind of oversized, and it just falls so nicely. It has a lot of shine, especially when it kind of moves in the wind. And the thing about the length that we have to remember is that Merz B Schwanen explicitly says that these shirts are not pre-shrunk. So the length is gonna shrink about an inch, maybe an inch and a half. So eventually after a wash and with wear, the shirt is gonna break down, it's gonna feel even better, and it's gonna start to fit even better. Now let's talk about the construction. Basically, Merz B Schwanen upholds the absolute pinnacle of luxury and quality construction, coupled with a double needle binded collar, which is gonna ensure that the collar is gonna last a really long time. And if you guys have been on this channel long enough, you know that this is my favorite t-shirt collar. I literally will not buy a t-shirt that does not have this collar. It is the only collar that I know of that actually can stand the test of time and will not give you bacon neck after a couple of wears. What's interesting about these shirts as well is they actually have an underarm gusset, which is basically a sewn in piece of fabric in a triangular shape, which is allegedly supposed to give a little bit more comfort and range of motion to the garment. Honestly, I don't see a ton of difference because the shirt is already a knit construction. Basically anything that's knit feels very freeing already and is already going to give you that range of motion. So really what I think this is for is more of the longevity factor, in terms of you have a little bit of an extra piece of fabric which is going to help redistribute all of the abrasion and all of the force that you're putting on the shirt to give it a little bit more of that longevity, a little bit more of that life, which I honestly think is really cool. It just really shows that this rebrand of Merz B Schwanen with the new owners really is meant to uphold traditional and quality timeless garments. The construction inside the armhole as well as the sleeve end is expertly done, and it literally mirrors some of the finest sewing technique that I've ever seen, and I could tell that this shirt really is meant to last a really long time. There's no side seams due to the loop wheel construction, which gives this shirt a comfortable drape, a uniform feel, and is ultimately going to keep the fabric together longer because you don't have the split in any of the loops. Because basically anytime you sever one loop in a knit, that's just another place for the shirt to unravel, and eventually you're going to unravel it to nothing if you keep wearing it long enough. The hem is also expertly done, and it has a really nice, very simple, subtle stitching on the outside, which I think gives this shirt a really nice presence when it's untucked, and I think that it really complements the rest of the shirt as well. And going back to the fit is everything that I was looking for in a nice oversized t-shirt, and like I said, I did this purposely. It is not meant at all to mirror a classic fit at all. I didn't want my t-shirt to look as tight as Carmy from the Bears, which you could get if you stay true to size with Merz B Schwanen, or rather size up, because again, they do run small. But I think that the drapey nature and the soft sheen of this loop wheel cotton t-shirt really complements the oversized fit and really gives this t-shirt a luxury quality presence to it. And it's so comfortable, it's so light and airy, yet it's still dense, and it's a t-shirt that I think works just as good in the summer as it does in the winter. Basically, this whole experience of Merz B Schwanen has been absolutely divine from beginning to end, even all the way down to the packaging. These t-shirts come in beautifully simplistic boxes that are actually made by German family-run businesses with a very subtle Merz B Schwanen blue logo, and when you unpack the shirt, shirt. There are so many inserts filled with knowledge that are also packaged with the t-shirt that tell you a lot about the heritage of German loop wheeling, what a loop wheel machine actually does, the organic cotton, the sustainability, and the ethos of Merz B Schwanen as a whole. They also insert cards with care tips and tips on how to preserve your garment, promoting longevity, and it also explicitly tells you about how the garment is going to shrink in a disclaimer that's also inserted with the shirt as well. All in all, I think this t-shirt is definitely going to be my main buy and my everyday wear because the balance between comfort, durability, a modern fashion forward fit, and just the old world heritage really come together to create some of the most beautiful t-shirts ever made. There's definitely no wonder why Carmy from The Bear chooses Merz B Schwanen for his t-shirts. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate the support, and this whole journey has been so much fun trying to find the perfect white t-shirt and just trying out all of these different feels from these different brands and different ethoses all around the world. And I'm really happy that I'm able to provide a lot of knowledge for my fashion newcomers, as well as learn a lot from you guys in the comments section. Don't forget to join my Discord. The link is going to be in the description. Thank you guys so much at Self Edge for helping me find the perfect t-shirt and for actually helping me when I walk into the store, because you really don't get that service anymore. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you next week.